This one hurts. Stargirl Season 1 was great, and we all know that what's gonna happen is, in 2 to 3 seasons, somehow, someway, the CW is gonna ruin this show. What's good? I'm Justin, otherwise known as IDontBeatGames, and today I'm here to bring you some nerd culture content to your monitors. So, I have to say, as someone who had no expectations and had no idea as to what Stargirl was going to be about, let alone the character, this show was a very rewarding experience. I thought it was funny, I thought it was lighthearted, I thought the characters were likable as they grew over time throughout the season, and for the most part, I grew to care about the characters. But most importantly, my favorite thing about this show was the way they handled the emotional scenes that required for the characters to develop, because we've all seen it. Yes, I'm looking at you, Flash.
You are the past, whereas I am the future.
But no, for real. Comparing Stargirl to the other shows, the only one that's as lighthearted is arguably the Harley Quinn show that is on HBO Max and DC Universe. But for now, let's go back to Stargirl and let's just talk about how good of a time this show was. And don't worry, I'm not going to do spoilers. We're not going to talk much about anything that happened story-wise. Yes, I might mention characters here or there, but I'm going to try to do everything I can to make this an enjoyable, spoiler-free video for anybody. Now, I have to say from the start, the way they handled Stargirl becoming Stargirl was such a memorable, lighthearted moment that you just sit there and you smile and you laugh because you know if the same thing happened to you, you literally would have the same exact reaction. And if you're gonna say differently, come on. At that age, it's a whole different mindset. Of course, you're gonna be excited, finding this ancient relic and just going on a joyride with it. And of course, it's gonna be the time of your life and you're gonna be super stoked, and just seeing Courtney go from this girl who finds this staff to Stargirl and being this leader of her friends and her team, and also including, you know, her stepfather and whatnot. And honestly, it was a rewarding moment. It was rewarding to see her become this character and learning how to be this superhero and learning how to become a leader, let alone how to become Stargirl and take the mantle that is being a superhero that we've seen time and time again in places like the MCU, Titans, Doom Patrol, hell, even the Flash, you know, the rest of the CW shows. But the difference between Stargirl and the rest of these shows, well, at least say specifically the DC shows, is that it's memorable in the sense of you don't feel like you have to suffer through it. And sure, that might just be my opinion, and I get that, because I will say there's a lot of high school themes and a lot of, you know, tension within the high school that she goes to. And of course, understandably so, you might not be into it and you might want it to be over. And that's okay. That's understandable if that's not for you. But I will say, outside of that, to me, it felt very rewarding to see and be given a superhero show where it doesn't feel like they had to depend on dark emotional moments in order to give her character growth. And in the moments where she was given this character growth and she was given this emotional scene, it felt like it had to happen, and it finally made sense as to why they got there to begin with. And that's important to a superhero show. So, my thing with Stargirl is that it's very likable, as I said before. To me, and this is my own personal opinion, I feel like the choreography was good enough. Yes, there were moments where I looked at the choreography and I saw some fight scenes and I was like, alright, you want me to believe that? You want me to believe that punch is going to be that strong? Or you want me to believe that that weapon is that strong? Like, of course, there's scenes where I had to chuckle and I was like, okay, it could have been better, but you know what? We'll let it slide. But anyway, regarding the story and the plot development as to how it's been handled, personally, I was okay with it, and I get it. I'm saying this as someone who never read a Stargirl comic, which, I'm not gonna lie, I've already looked up the prices to see how much a Stargirl comic costs, and I'm gonna get one. However, bringing it all together, I understand that there's always people out there who want everything to be adapted literally perfectly, and literally every storyline to be correct, and for no minimal changes to be made. And I get that. That's a good perspective to have as someone who is a purist and as someone who thoroughly reads comics. And I get it. I'm someone who just got into the comic world hardcore about 2 years ago, or at least specifically with DC Comics. And for me, that wasn't what I was expecting from this show. And maybe that's why I enjoyed it so much. These characters were all likable. Yes, they had different points where it's like, alright, you need to relax. But they're teenagers, and I get it. They're kids trying to do what they do best and trying to survive just like anybody else. And most importantly, especially with Stargirl, She's doing everything she can to be the best superhero that she can be. And to me, it felt like it was easier for it to resonate with us as an audience because she's so fixated on being the best superhero possible. And seeing her get called out multiple times within the show and seeing different characters be like, yo, Stargirl, you messed up and you need to realize that. And seeing her immediate reaction of like, oh my god, I messed up. I made a mistake. Oh my god, why did I do that? Shows how much she really is willing to learn. And seeing that she isn't so fixated on being right all the time rather than being the best person she can be as both a friend and superhero, it just felt very human and very genuine in the sense of you could see someone who really has a good heart and really has the best expectations, not only for herself, but the best intentions for her friends, her family, and doing everything in her power to make sure that the people she cares about are not only okay, but are safe too. And it shows how much she is willing to live up to the mantle that is a superhero while balancing being in high school or being the best stepsister that she can be or being the best friend that she can be and doing everything she can to be a positive impact on the people that are around her. And honestly, for real, this gave me very early season 1, season 2 Flash vibes where he was a much more likable character, and on top of that, it was a much more positive atmosphere. And I get it, when it comes to storylines and it comes to the underworld, things are bound to get dark. But for me, it gave me those moments of like, oh my god, this is a fun time. This is funny. Oh, and on top of that, it put a dumb smile on my face. And I guess that's something I never knew that I needed from a superhero show, and that's why they made it so memorable and so different from the rest. And that's why I genuinely appreciated not only this show, but the fact that DC managed to make something was not only memorable, enjoyable, lighthearted, funny, and I guess semi-relatable because, you know, if we were in that position, of course, we'd kind of react in a similar fashion. So overall, I have to say, Stargirl Season 1 was a great starting point for this show. And I hope, and I really genuinely hope from the bottom of my heart, that the CW doesn't take this away from us. I really hope that the CW manages to take this show and just skyrocket it and do what they didn't do with The Flash, which was make each season more enjoyable, more likable, do great plot story elements, and hopefully just continue on from this great starting point that is Stargirl. So to end this video, I will say it, the show is not perfect, and I'm never going to want to say that, especially for a superhero show, because it's hard to say something is perfect when everything is unrealistic and it's not happening in the real world. But it's a very likable show, it's very enjoyable, and I genuinely hope that the CW doesn't ruin it or bogs it down with dumb storylines or does useless, episode by episode routines like The Flash does. And honestly, I'll say it, yes, Stargirl does fit in the perfect age demographic that is the CW, so I really hope they try to benefit from this show and make it as good as possible. That's all I want. I want every DC show to be good. I want every DC show to have good writing, and Stargirl is a perfect example of what can become a great show. It's currently a good one, it can get better, and I fully acknowledge that, but it's hard to not worry after, The Flash Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, Season 4, Season 5, and Season 6. So with all that being said, do I suggest Stargirl? Yes, of course. At least give it 2 to 3 episodes, and if it's not your thing, oh well. After that, there's other shows that you can watch that are superhero shows such as Titans or Doom Patrol or, any other superhero show that's going to be coming out in the future. But for now, I do highly suggest watching Stargirl and giving it a chance. It's only 2 or 3 episodes and we're all at home anyway, so what else do you have to do? If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you would really like this content, feel free to drop a subscription. I'm trying to make some good content, bring that nerd culture to your monitors. And most importantly, if you have anything you want to talk about, feel free to drop a comment below. And with nothing but peace, love, and positivity, we're out of here.